All right, guys, we've got another beard advice series video today, and we've got a big, dense, full beard to work with. It's going to be so much fun. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Brian Haywood here. Welcome back to my Beards and Banjos YouTube channel where we discuss tips and tricks for your beards. We do some product reviews and unboxings. We also have this beard advice series where you guys can send in a couple of pictures to me to the email address you see below. I take a look at it for a few weeks. You get featured in your own beard advice series video like we're doing today. The lag time right now is 3 to 4 weeks. They're still trickling in at a nice steady rate, so that's always good to see. But today we've got Derek. All right, so if you take a look at Derek there, he's 32 years old. He goes by Bearded America on both YouTube channel, which he started recently, and on Instagram. So make sure you give him a follow, Bearded America. He works in the nursing field, 32 years old, lives in East Tennessee. Mountains, beautiful area. Rocky Top. You guys know the bluegrass song, Rocky Top? It's one of the best ones. Wish that I was on old Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills. There's a little taste of it for you. I may have to play that one for you sometime. But anyway, he's in month 4 of his growth, and he said he's only really kind of trimmed around the sideburn area there, the transition zone a little bit to keep it out from curling around into his ears. But he's in month 4. He wants to go for the full year. All right, so by the time 8 more months of growth, man, that's going to be a beard and a half. But if you look at that beard, it's nice and dense. There's no holes in it. Everything connects to his mustache. Just the kind of the perfect round beard there. I think of that one's kind of like a lumberjack beard, right? Because if you just kind of come out nice and round and just be a very shapely looking beard is kind of what I foresee for this thing. You do have some considerations when you have a big, dense, thick, curly beard about what to do with the mustache area, how to do your lines. You also have the aggravation of kind of maintaining it, being able to comb it because it gets really thick and tangly sometimes. Derek said I checked with him about his routine and his co-washing and all that kind of stuff. All of that sounded on point, so we're not going to be talking a lot about that. I do want to talk a little bit about the cheek line. If you take a look at his cheek line, it's a nice cheek line. It's not super groomed. All right, because if you've got a really thick beard there and you go super groomed, sometimes it can look too manicured. Like in this picture, to me, that does not look good, that really sharp cheek line. So I like a little bit more of a natural cheek line, which is what Derek's got there. So the cheek line where you've got it looks perfect. If you go any lower, then you're gonna have to do more daily maintenance to kind of keep everything nice and neat above that area. So I really like that. Just slightly rounded, looks very good. And then when you start talking about whether you should taper it or not, I really don't think you should do much taper. Maybe just at the very, very top transition zone. But the key thing is it comes down, and then your beard, your nice roundness comes out here. So the puffiness right there is actually going to be a good thing, kind of give you that nice round shape to it. So Derek works in the nursing field, and he says he kind of wants to get across that it's okay to have a beard in any kind of occupation that should be acceptable. So you can keep it nice and clean, and it's not a dirty thing, and it's not something that should be frowned upon. So good for you, Derek. Keep that up. So keeping that in mind, I started looking at a couple of pictures where the guys were kind of dressed up just to kind of give you the polished look. But I also wanted to make sure to look for guys that had really thick, dense beards. And for me, yeah, you can go with you can shape it whatever shape you want because it's so big and full and dense. You can trim that hedge any way you want to. So if you wanted to go super sharp lines and have everything all squared off, you could. Right, something like this particular picture, that would definitely be something you could do if you wanted to when you were ready to trim. But for me, just from everything I'm seeing there, I think the rounder, full beard is going to be your best look. To me, my brain, I think lumberjack kind of beard. But you don't have to have the flannel shirt and the axe. You can have on a nice tie and still have a nice full beard on that. The other thing you could think about doing when you trim is you could kind of just trim everything kind of slightly rounded across the bottom, and then you kind of get, when it starts to flare out on the sides and then you kind of chop off part of it, it can start to look kind of bell-shaped. And that can be good and bad, kind of depends on if you like it or not. So this guy's got one of the most super dense beards I have ever seen. But you kind of see what I'm talking about. It kind of comes out and then it's kind of flattened out a little bit on the bottom. So that could be an option for you if you didn't want to take in the sides and get it really short through here, which I don't think it really suits you. So you could do something like kind of making sort of the bell shaped. If you've watched any of Scott Barnes videos, a lot of times he kind of has that bell shape where it comes down, it comes out at the sides and then it's kind of flatter, slightly rounded across the bottom. So that could be an option for you. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention there is your sideburn area. What you have now looks great. I think you could actually, let me take my glasses off, you could bring down where your beard starts just a little bit, and if you have never tried it, you can try having it kind of round up to a point. That also may be a good look for you. So that would be something else to consider. Okay, so you've got plenty of options there with shape. All right, you could go shorter, you could go boxier, you could go rounded, you could go longer. Obviously, you're not going to do a whole lot until you reach the year, but I'm just throwing out things for you. The other thing to consider is the mustache, and that'll be where we'll end up today. So your mustache right now is nice and big. I love the way it looks. It's kind of straight down. You're keeping it right at the top lip or just over the top lip. I think looks really, really good, nice and full. And then it kind of blends into the beard. And for you, I think that's a great look, having it blend in. I'm not sure if you ever did this. I saw some pictures when you had a beard that was longer. It looked like you had a little bit of a separate mustache. So you can mess around with that to see if you like it with the separated mustache, and all you do is you kind of shorten a few of these hairs around it to get some good separation. Where your lip line is, you can basically take your clippers there and go zip, and then you can kind of create a separate mustache, let it grow longer than the hairs around it. But that'll be up to you. For me, I kind of like the way you've got it now. But if you're growing out for a year, you might as well mess around with the mustache a little bit. And you saw that on some of these pictures where, yes, it's still a nice big kind of round beard, but you still have the separate mustache. So that would just be the other thing to consider. And it would be kind of hard to train to get it to go to the sides. I think on the way yours grows, it's so thick. But once you get it out there, then it becomes a little bit easier with the styling routine. He says he does use the hair dryer. He does have a straightening brush he uses it that he likes, but he's worried about using it every day. And I wouldn't use it every day either. I'm not sure what kinds you have. There are some with control temperature settings. You could put it on the lowest setting, and you can not, as long as you're not putting tons and tons of heat for a long period of time, you kind of keep it moving. It can kind of help lock things in a little bit better. So use your blow dryer, and then you can just kind of go back and just make one pass through with the heated brush. I think would be fine. You also do want to try to take a couple days a week where you're not doing that, and you kind of let everything rest. But as long as you're keeping up your co-wash routine, your butter routine, and you can just kind of tell by the way it feels. If it starts to feel really crispy, you would definitely want to change your routine. But other than that, man, just let it grow. Keep me updated. I want to see what that yard looks like. I want to show everybody on here what your yard is going to look like. I think it's going to be awesome. I wish you the best of luck there and continued in your career. And thanks you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.